ஹலோ
ஜெகன், வணக்கம் ஜெகன்.
சார். வணக்கம் சார். ஒரு நிமிஷம் நான் வீடியோ ஆன் பண்றேன்.
ஓகே ஓகே.
என்னோட இது தெரியுதுங்களா? என்னோட போட்டோ வர மாட்டேங்குது சார். ஒரு நிமிஷம் இருங்க. ஹலோ.
ஓகே ஜெகன். விஷுவல்
ஒரே நிமிஷம் இருங்க. நான் ஒரு நிமிஷம் இந்த பேக்ரவுண்ட் கொஞ்சம் சேஞ்ச் பண்ணிட்டு வந்துறேன். நான் பாத்து நீங்க இருப்பாரு. पापा का भिंडी चटनी है, ठीक है? तुम आवाज दे दो किसी को रिकॉर्ड में बोलिए, लाइव बोलिए,
जूम लिंक पर जूम ऐप डाउनलोड कर.
சார் கிளியரா இருக்காங்க சார். சார்
எஸ் சார். ஹலோ ஜெகன், கேக்குதுங்களா?
சார் கேக்குது. என்ன எல்லாம் கிளியரா இருக்கா? ஆடியோ கிளியரா இருக்கா?
கிளியரா இருக்கு ஜெகன், கிளியரா இருக்கு
சார். எனக்கு ஒரு முக்கியமானவங்க யார் பேர் மட்டும் சொல்லிருங்க. நான் உங்களுக்கு நன்றி தெரிவிக்கிறேன்.
எங்க பிரின்சிபல்
மேடம்.
அவ்வளவுதான்.
மலர் டாக்டர்.
டாக்டர் மலர்.
ஓகே. பிரின்சிபல் என்ன காலேஜ்? குமாரானந்தமா?
முத்துரங்கம் கவர்மெண்ட் ஆர்ட்ஸ் காலேஜ், வெள்ளூர்.
ஒரு இப்ப லைவ்ல போயிட்டு இருக்கமா இல்ல லைவ் ஆஃப் பண்ணிட்டீங்களா?
லைவ் போயிட்டு தான் இருக்கு. இதை ஆஃப் பண்ணணுங்களா
சார்? லைவ் ஆஃப் பண்ணி ஆமா, ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் நம்ம லைவ் போலாம். ஏன்னா நான் கொஞ்சம் ஷேர் பண்ணலாம்னு பாக்குறேன். ஒரு 2 மினிட்ஸ்.
சரி, ஓகே.
இல்ல ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிடுவோமா?
இன்னொரு 2 மினிட்ஸ். இன்னும் 6 ஆகலையே. இன்னும் 6 5 o'clock இருக்கு. பிரேம்,
அப்பனா நம்ம வேணா ட்ரையல் வேண்டாம். நான் அப்படியே டைரக்டா ஷேர் பண்ணிடுறேன்.
இந்த இது அவருடைய பயோடேட்டா லைவ் ஆஃப் பண்ணிட்டாங்க. ஸ்டார்ட். இங்கே வந்துருங்க, வாங்க வாங்க உட்காருங்க, இப்படியே உட்காருங்க, ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுங்க. பரவாயில்ல வாங்க.
நீங்கள் பேக்
பேகை தூக்கிறதெல்லாம் தெரியுது. ஓகே, ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணலாம். ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ண சொல்கிறேன்.
Prem, unmute me, Prem.
பிரேம், பிரேம்.
Yes, sir.
நிர்மல் அன்மியூட் பண்ணுங்க.
Hi, good evening to one and all present here. Thank you for joining today webinar on history and culture of Jammu and Kashmir. Now I would like to invite Dr. V. Shivashankar, Assistant Professor and RUSA Coordinator, Muthuram Government Arts College, Vellore, for delivering welcome address and introduction of Chief Guest.
Good evening to all. On behalf of Muthrangam Government Arts College, Vellore, RUSA EBSP Club to invite to all participate national level webinar on history and culture of Jammu and Kashmir. It's a great honor and a privilege to welcome my principal, Dr. Malar, Muthrangam Government Arts College, Vellore. I welcome today's chief guest, Dr. Jagannathan, Assistant Professor in the Department of National Security and Studies, Central University of Jammu. And I invite HODs of my departments, HODs of other departments of my college and my college staffs and my Muthrangam Government Arts College students and other faculties and other institutions, faculties from different parts of India. And I also welcome to all students from different participants in the all over India. So I welcome. Now I invite, now I introduced Dr. Jagannathan. Dr. Jagannathan presently working as Assistant Professor in the Department of National Security Studies, Central University of Jammu. He did MA Defense Studies in Madras University, MPhil in Center for European Studies, School of International Studies, Jawaharlal Nehru University in New Delhi. He did PhD also in the same center, Center for Economic Studies, School of International Studies, Jawaharlal Nehru University. After he completed his PhD, he joined a research fellow at the Center for International and Regional Securities, Institute of Peace and Conflict Studies, New Delhi. So presently he is working in the Jammu Central University. He wrote many books and articles in the international reputed journals. He regularly writing columnist in Times of India. So now invite Dr. Jagannathan to deliver his address. Thank you.
வணக்கம், அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். First of all, I would like to thank Professor Dr. V. Shivashankar. He was also my senior and a good friend of mine. And also I'd like to thank the principal of Muthrangam Government Arts College, Vellore, Madam Dr. Malar. Thank you, Madam and Dr. Shivashankar, for giving me this opportunity to share on my thoughts, some of the facts about Jammu and Kashmir, and share about this language, culture, and other aspects of Jammu and Kashmir under Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat. I would also like to inform the audience that I'm also NSS National Service Scheme Program Coordinator of my university since 2015. I also been a nodal officer of Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat. We have done a lot of online webinars with Central University of Tamil Nadu, as well as the entire Tamil Nadu NSS Directorate 2 months ago. And we have also done a visit from our students have visited Central University of Tamil Nadu under the Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat. It is a unique opportunity under this Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat for students and also to learn about the other parts of the country. So we have been paired with the Tamil Nadu, and I feel myself blessed or fortunate to be here in Jammu and Kashmir to understand the culture, the language, and also the beauty of the Jammu and Kashmir. Having come from all the way from down south, working in Jammu and Kashmir for 7 years, it's also been enriching for me and also educating for me to understand Jammu and Kashmir. First of all, before I start my presentation, I would like to just share a few lines about my experience. Like all of us from Tamil Nadu, when we hear about the name of the state, Jammu and Kashmir, what comes to our mind is it is fraught with conflict. There are a lot of terrorists everywhere. So every day there is a sort of a terrorist attack happens, and it's not a secure place in the country. And that is how the media has been projected, and we all know about this, the Jammu and Kashmir, and we do not know about the other aspects of the Jammu and Kashmir, and the cultural aspects, the historical linkages that the Jammu and Kashmir has with us. It is a very much integral part of our Bharat, and there is no doubt or no thought about it. But there has been a debate that we have been separating that aspect. So in the mainstream discourse, especially in Tamil Nadu, where there's a very scant understanding about the state of Jammu and Kashmir. There is a scant understanding about the geography of Jammu and Kashmir. A lot of people used to confuse the Ladakh and the Leh and the Jammu and Kashmir. So here I'm going to present the fact about the Jammu and Kashmir, the rich culture about Jammu and Kashmir, the history of Jammu and Kashmir, the language they speak in the Jammu and Kashmir, and I'll take you to this a detour of Jammu and Kashmir. Can I share my screen? I made some presentation.
Yes, sir.
Sir, yeah. Can you allow me to share? Host as a disabled participant. Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
I hope all of you are able to see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I have divided my presentation, today's discussion, into a few parts. One is I'm going to start with the architecture and the destination of Jammu and Kashmir. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you to show you about Jammu as well as the Kashmir and Ladakh. These are the three provinces of the Jammu and Kashmir Union Territory. In 2019, on August 5, 2019, the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act was passed in the Parliament. After that, the Jammu and Kashmir has become a union territory. The Article 370 has been made inoperative, so it has been totally integrated with the rest of the country in terms of whatever the constitutions of India, which were also being extended to the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Earlier, the Jammu and Kashmir used to have its own constitution. They have their own state flags. But after August 5, it's been more than 1 year, the Constitution of India has all the laws been directly applicable to the state of the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. So there are three provinces. There are Jammu and Kashmir. These two provinces are merged and made as the Jammu and Kashmir Union Territory. Ladakh, which has two districts, Kargil and Leh, been made an union territory without an assembly. Legislative Assembly. So let me start with the map so that all of you would be able to understand. Just a minute. So what you see in the yellow part is the Jammu and Kashmir province, and the blue colored part is the Ladakh, which has two districts, which I mentioned, that one is Leh and other one is Kargil. And Jammu and Kashmir, the Jammu, we have a Jammu city is the sort of that major town of Jammu province, and Srinagar is the major town of major city of the Kashmir Valley. So the Kashmir is a valley, and the Jammu and Ladakh, and the Ladakh is also sparsely populated, but it have a huge vast territory. In terms of architecture, Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, these three provinces has a different but unique architectures. Whenever you talk about a place, the first thing which would tell the beauty of that particular place, or which would speak the history of that particular place, is the architecture and building. Suppose if you talk about the Tanjavur, the immediately what comes to our mind is that the Brihadishwar temple, that grand architecture. So likewise, in every place, the architecture speaks a lot about that particular place and the history, and the history of that particular place. So let me start with the Jammu. In Jammu, what you see in the, I hope you are all able to see my screen properly, because here my window is okay. So what you see on the right hand side is the famous Amar Mahal Palace. It is a palace of the Maharaja Hari Singh. He was the last ruler of Jammu and Kashmir before it was annexed on October 1947. And this particular building is an attraction for tourists. This palace, sort of an European structure, modeled on European structure. It was built by European architect. It's one of the most attractive tourist spot in Jammu. It was built by Raja Amar Singh and has a French architect, and the designs on the famous of the French Château. And now it is converted into a museum. So if anyone wanted to study about the Dogra kingdom, the Dogra is an ethnic group, the ethnic name called, the entire provinces was ruled for more than 200 years by the Dogra rulers. And the last ruler was Maharaja Hari Singh, and Hari Singh's son is the current Singh. And this palace is a site of a symbol of the Dogra ruler, Dogra dynasty, what you see in Amar Singh Palace. Adjacent to the Amar Singh Palace, there is a beautiful fort was constructed, which was very old, much older, on the river Tavi. In Jammu, there is a very beautiful river flows, which is actually makes the Jammu, some of the Jammu region is more of an island, which is called the Tavi River. And this fort was built 3000 years by the King Bahu, and it is also now a religious place. Within it, they kept the goddess Kali over there, and they call it a Bave Wali Mata temple, and it is one of the most attractive, local attractive place in terms of, and it is on the height of the peak of the hill. This one I'm just showing you, most of you all know, when you talk about Jammu, what comes to mind is people talk about Vaishno Devi temple, or they call it Matarani. There used to have scores of people used to throng on during Navratra days. On an average, every day, more than 1 crore people visit this particular shrine, which is located 60 kilometers from Jammu city. It is popularly known as Matarani Vaishno Devi on the hills, Trikuta hills. And it has a spiritual value. And what you see this picture, it is actually in the small cave. And the people from all over, especially from Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Maharashtra, West Bengal, across the state, they used to come here to pay their respect to Matarani. And this is also one of the most famous tourist spot for the spiritual tourist and the religious tourism. Now I'm just taking you to, since we are talking about architecture, I'm taking you to the Kashmir Valley. In Kashmir Valley, what you see is the Maharani temple, which is also situated in Gulmarg Hill. And this Maharani temple of Gulgam is dedicated to Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati. This is also one of the very famous shrine in Kashmir Valley. Most of us, we tend to think that Kashmir, there is no hardly any Hindu temple would be there. These are the sort of understanding, but a lot of temples in Kashmir Valley. A very ancient temple. One of the ancient temple was Shankaracharya temple in the heart of the city, which is a very beautiful place. And there is no such thing that sort of a religious dispute or religious. The people live in a harmonious way. It's not the way that we always think. This, since the Kashmir is predominantly a Muslim population, so there is no temple being allowed to, perform their duties, which is a wrong perception. And this is a sort of a Mughal garden, Pari Mahal. Actually, it is a Buddhist monastery. Dara Sheikh, he is the eldest son of Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan. He has turned this building into an school of, it's an astrological learning place. And this is the Kashmir Valley had this Mughal imprints, lot of Mughal imprints. That imprint came to existence in the medieval period. But in the ancient period, you can see a lot of the Buddhist structures, and then before that, the Hindus, Saivaism was thriving in this particular place, in Kashmir Saivaism. So there is always a sort of two interesting phenomena. That one is the Saivaism from the down south through the Bhakti movement, and the Saivaism from the Kashmir Saivaism is also very equally popular. In fact, it is believed that the Vedas were written and preserved and preached here from Kashmir Valley. And the name Kashmir is derived from the famous Saint Kashyap Muni, who in fact has had, according to the strictures, believed to have come from down south to here to rescue the people who were caught in the flood. So that's a different story. I don't want to continue on that. We don't want to go back to the ancient history. But it has, and what I'm trying to say is, in terms of architecture, it has the imprints of the Buddhist structure, the Hindus structures. Then you have Buddhism structures. After that, in the medieval period, you have the Mughals imprints, and also in modern terms, that in modern imprints as well as also there, the European imprints. Although the Jammu and Kashmir was not directly under the control of the colonial British India, it was not colonized by the British India, so British did not rule directly this particular province, J&K. The another site which is also located in Kashmir Valley is the Amarnath Cave. It's also one of the major attractive tourist places. Amarnath will be visited by the millions of people during the month of June, July, and this particular place from the valley. And you believe me, you will see if you visit this temple, there are a lot of people from the local peoples are highly been there in terms of facilitating the pilgrims. This is the famous Dal Lake, which is also located in the heart of the city, Srinagar city, which is also integrated to the tourism and recreation in Kashmir. It is called the jewel in the crown of Kashmir, that Srinagar's jewel, Dal Lake. It's a very popular place for tourist attraction. Another important monument in the Srinagar, that's Kashmir Valley, is the Hari Parbat Fort, one of the popular monuments in Srinagar. And no tourists want to give a miss to this. This Hari Parbat is a very important site for the tourist and for its the forest and the gardens and the plains which is the structure has. Again, I'm coming back to Jammu province. This is actually the Darbar, the administrative block or administrative building of the Dogra kings, one of the oldest buildings, where they have ruled from these particular buildings 150 years. And this has the mix of the Rajasthani architecture and European mix and with the Mughal style. In fact, during the Dogra rule, the official language of Jammu and Kashmir was Urdu. That shows that the beauty of their respect for the diversity. The official court language, even some of the oldest texts, if you go and find it in this Mandi, it is all written in, even the Dogra dynasty by various kings, was written in Urdu. This is another one of the ancient temple in Jammu region, the Raghunath temple, Raghunath shrine, one of the oldest shrine ruled by Maharaja Gulab Singh. In fact, Maharaja Gulab Singh is the founder of the Dogra dynasty. He was a lieutenant of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, who ruled the entire Punjab up to Peshawar and Afghanistan. In order to pay respect to his loyalty to the Maharaja Ranjit Singh, has given anointed Gulab Singh as the king of the Dogra dynasty, ruling the entire valley like Jammu, Kashmir, and some of the Kangada valley in Himachal Pradesh. That's how the Dogra dynasty has begun. Again, there is another shrine. These are all, see, Jammu is called as a city of temples. Like if you ask me to present about Kumbakonam or Tanjavur, you have to present all these facts. Since it's all, a lot of temples are there. And one of the prominent temples which have some historical linkages in the ancient period, and the people have a lot of faith on this, irrespective of their religion, and that is makes it very popular. So the Pirko cave is also one of the oldest temple. A large number of devotees also come during Amavashi and Ekadashi. During Shivratri is very popularly celebrated in Jammu and Kashmir in both regions, Shivratri and Navratri. This another beautiful lake is on the top of the hill. There is a sort of a valley, very beautiful place called Mansar Lake. Here, it has been made a tourist spot here from 30, 40 kilometers from the region. This has been discussed. This Dogra Museum is very popular, and in fact, if anybody wants to work on the Kashmir literature, the Kashmir history, and also Afghanistan history or Pakistan history, ancient history, and the medieval history, I think this particular museum has a lot of materials to work on, including to access, get to know about the governance structure and the museum and the art and architectures. This is another fort which is also located in Riyasi district. So a lot of forts all there. Since this entire region is of folded mountains, you can see a lot of forts. Like you have the famous Vellore fort. This is again a very popular place in Kashmir Valley. Even now today, it is. They used to have a big celebrations, melas, like trivulas, like what you have seen in during Paurnami in Tiruvannamalai. Sort of things that the same thing happens in Kir Bhavani. Is a temple dedicated to the goddess. Mostly the Kashmiri Pandits go there and worship there. It is their Kuladevi. One interesting thing about is that similar to a lot of similarities between Tamil Nadu, Saivaism and here, there you can see some blue color water here, and that blue color water, the color changes every festival. When I heard about this thing, I'm reminded of, I don't know how many of you are aware of this fact. There is a temple in Coimbatore, Tirupur district called Shivan Malai. There every year during the puja, they keep changing the things. And whatever things comes kept in that particular box, they will predict that year is going to be like that. Similarly, this color of this water also changes every year during the festival, and accordingly they will foresee the future, predict the future. So if it is turned to red, then they will think there will be more war, more violence. If they turn to be black, then it would be, they think that it would be more inauspicious things going to happen. If it turns white, then they think that there will be peace, so on and so forth. So there are a lot of interpretations. Although it looks like a superstitions, but this is a belief of the people. Next, I will be moving to the art and craft of the particular region, Jammu and Kashmir. What you see here, the Jammu region is also known for a lot of art and architectures, particularly Kashmir and Jammu regions has unique things. If you see Jammu, what you see in these paintings all called Basoli paintings. This Basoli paintings is a handmade paintings using the local organic colors, and they make it in a paper, basili paper. That is why it's called basoli, and it is sold for more than 1 lakh and 1.5, and they do have international market for this. And the Sonam Kapoor and Dheeraj Kapoor are the prominent the artist of this, but making these particular paintings. And it depicts many stories like the Basoli Rasamanjari is another interesting story picture, very popular, and most people wanted to buy these particular paintings, which shows that the Shiva is shown as a Lord Shiva is shown as a beggar to meet Lord Krishna, and Ragini kept him outside. There are many local folklores also depicted in that particular paintings. Then you move to the Kashmir. Kashmir is internationally known for this embroidery work. On your left hand side, the Kashmiri zari work, which is also a metal thread called zari, woven into embroidered into fabric. And these are all done by using hands by the women, elderly women, and there is a lot of cottage industries, they do it at home. So there is a ari work, and this ari work came into being in the Mughal era. Basically, they just see the nature. Suppose if they go out, they see the nature. If they see any chinar trees, leaves, then they will try to bring that particular scene in their cloth, in the fabric. If they see any birds, any scenes, they bring it in the cloth. And that became a competition, the localized competition, who gets the best sort of picture on the fabric. Then you have the paper mache, is also very popular in Kashmiri paper mache, and this is also in that particular province. For the tourist attraction. And woodwork, of course, Kashmir has known for this walnut trees, you called akhroot trees, and these woods are very solid and commonly used in all the households, things and houses, even the building houses or houseboats. When I talk about the clothes occupies an important role in any culture, depicting their culture. So what you see here is the clothes worn by the Jammu and the Kashmiris. What you have seen, the women clothes that they are worn by Kashmiris and Jammuites. And this is the men's wear, the men wear by Kashmiris and Jammuites. The pink color is the Jammu Dogra clothes. And what you can see, the man who's standing is called Paran. These are the traditional Dogra and Kashmiri attires. As far as food is concerned, this place is known for an exotic food and varies for different regions. Jammu and Kashmir, one good thing is they're predominantly rice eaters. Hardly you see in the northern India, people eat a lot of rice, but here it's a rice eaters. Even in the winters, 3 times, like Tamil Nadu, 3 times they eat rice. And basmati rice is very famous from here. And it's also very cheap and available here. The most delicious is the Rajma Chawal. So mostly the pilgrims, especially from Tamil Nadu, who come for a pilgrimage to Vaishno Devi or Amarnath, they find it very happy to see rice and dal. Because when they travel in the train, after they crossing Renigunda and Andhra Pradesh, then they will have to eat roti and chapatis. And it would be very hard. But when they land in Jammu and they are welcomed with a plate of Rajma Chawal, which cost around 30 rupees, with the filling, that is what you say. And this is a kidney beans, very popular here. And they feel very much happy. I have seen them. So on the right hand side, the cure, it is a dessert the people make. And this is another, in between is the Kaladi Kulcha. It is also snacks item, but main course is the Rajma Chawal. And this rice is eaten by Kashmiris as well. The food, even during winters, 3 times they eat rice. Even morning they eat rice, Rajma Chawal. Afternoon also they eat Rajma Chawal. I'm not saying that everybody eat Rajma Chawal, but I said they don't mind eating chawals all the time. And these are the these are the famous Kashmiri cuisines. Like dam aloo is there. This is a fried aloo. Aloo means potatoes, fried potatoes, and made it a curry. And the right hand side, you see the meat. It is called smoked meat, very popular in the Kashmir. Kashmiri cuisine is very popular, especially non-vegetarians. They eat a lot of meat, red meat, goat meat, and they call it wazwan. And one thing, the Kashmiris are known for hospitality. If I get an opportunity to visit any Kashmiri's house, their hospitality is you can't match anywhere. They will, in terms of food, they serve you many varieties and large numbers. And that's a hospitality. You visit any of their homes and they make you feel that you will overeat the kind of dishes they serve. These are all very famous, like the localized food. And the Nadru Yakni, the right hand side, it is actually a lotus stem. That's also a very popular dish here. Nadru Yakni is a lotus stem. And that is very popular dish in terms of vegetarian, the vegetables, which is very localized. These are all the snack items. As I discussed in the Wazwan, on your right hand side, it's a full platter, thali or meals or sapadu with a lot of dishes, like what you have in the non-veg dishes. They serve. See, it would look funny that, why I'm presenting all these things, but it is actually, the culture is actually reflection of what we eat, what we wear, and that also the places, the geography, locations. These all combine to resonate the real culture of the people here. If we cannot talk about an academic discourse, talking about the culture and other factors, this is an important thing that we all should know about what do they eat, what sort of varieties are available. So these are the very important things. Like if they see me that, okay, he's a South Indian, then they will say, sir, you will eat idli dosa. Because the food is actually the identity of that particular community. When they identify with the people with the food, what they eat. So there were people from South India, they say, okay, we will eat only rasam, sambar and idli and dosa. So when you come to North, we tend to think they eat a lot of rotis and chapatis. So that's why it is very important. And this keva is a drink which is quite often used during the summer winters. Now the winter, where I am now, we are having a 2 degrees Celsius today, very hot, very cold, and it remains cold. Sometimes peak season, 2-3 days we don't even see sun. And this keva, they make keva and put it in a big flask, and they used to have. This is simple like any of our what do you call in Tamil, that inji tea or something like that. So this is how they have this kevas. Then music. If I can't complete the cultural and Jammu and Kashmir without mentioning to the instruments and the musics. This region is very popular, especially Kashmir Valley, Sufism. When the Sufism came, and it came through the musics. There are a lot of Sufi scholars, saints, they used to sing a lot of songs, and there are a lot of the localized instruments. It's very quite popular in this particular region. And the folk music is also very popular. Like this is a Kashmiri songs, Kashmiri folks. They are very popular in Dogri and also in Kashmir. These are some of the pictures where our students have presented in one of the shows. Similarly, they also have the various festivals. Like as I said, that the major festivals of this, but some technical issues, major festivals that the Jammu and Kashmir used to have, where I mentioned about like we celebrate this Sankranti or Pongal or Dogri. So these are the dance they perform in Jammu region. The Dogra dance and Lodi they call Pongal, Sankranti they celebrate Lodi, that is also celebrated here. These are all Gojri dance. It is also a province which is adjacent to close to the border, northwest of the Jammu region, which is also very popular. And the roof dance, this is also group dance. This is also very popular in the particular things. This dance our students have performed in Central University of Tamil Nadu. As you see, there's Kir Bhavani Mela here and the Dal Lake festival during the summers. The tourists used to see. There will be a lot of boat race. A lot of festivals are organized there. And during spring season, the tulip festival is very popular. Even people tourists come from Europe and foreign countries. They used to visit to witness the tulip festival in tulip garden in Kashmir. The Bahu Mela, which I mentioned in the Bahu Fort, is a typical like our Mela. And this is another local festival which is very quite unique. They call Bacha Dua. Bacha Dua means this is a festival where the mothers, only for mothers, for the well-being of the children. Very rare. So the mothers would pray on this particular occasion for their well-beings of their children. And this is very common Eid al-Adha, Eid prayers in Kashmir Valley, and the sheep is being auctioned. They auction this sheep, and sometimes it goes up to 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs. People used to buy. As I mentioned, the Kir Bhavani Mela earlier also. And this is another Kashmiri festival, very common and very unique and weather good. This is a Navre festival. It is similar to the New Year for the Kashmiri Pandits, Navre, like our New Year. And this is a Kashmiri Pandits, they used to celebrate Navre festival. And another important festival is called Shivratri. Here, this is what I wanted to, the uniqueness. They call Herat, what is unique for the Kashmiri Pandits. On the day before the Herat, the Muslims should visit the Kashmiri Pandits' home. And they would offer the blessings, the greetings to the Kashmiri Pandits. And the Kashmiri Pandits, even now today, this is happening. These are all actual pictures. These are all not pictures taken from some media purpose. These are actual pictures. And Herat, in Kashmir Saivism, the Shiv is worshipped. The Shiv is the core, I mean, in every Saivism. But one day before, the Kashmiri Pandits perform the marriage ceremony of Shiva and Parvati. And they also cook vegetable dish and also meat. Imagine they cook meat and fish, and these fish and meat are offered to Lord Shiva on Shivratri. That's the uniqueness of Kashmir Saivism. So it is due to the geographical locations, and that is a part of the cultural thing. It is not the case even if I can talk about this thing, it will become a controversy. How can you say that meat is offered to Lord Shiva? Then the South Indian Saivite scholars will start criticizing that. But this is the culture they are practicing for ages, even today now. Ma'am, one lady is preparing a fish for Shivratri. I will not stop now. I am going to another presentation on the language of this particular region. So don't expect to say everything is over. Just a minute. I think I have time, sir. I have 20 minutes.
Okay, you take your own time.
Yeah.
Take your own time.
If I'm just going over time, please just let me know.
You take your own time, no problem.
Yeah. According to the language and official languages of Jammu and Kashmir, this language has a rich history, as I said earlier. 3 provinces has unique history and it has a common culture. They share common culture irrespective of a different religious thing. The Ladakh is a predominantly Buddhist province, and the Jammu and Kashmir Union Territory is Jammu is predominantly the Hindus live there, and the Kashmir Valley is predominantly the Muslims. But there is a perfect communal harmony. You never ever heard any communal violence happening here. It is as peaceful like any other place. In fact, I would say it's much peaceful than any other places. I would even say there is a total safety for the women in this particular place in Jammu and Kashmir. The women are respected. Women can go in the night, evening. There's a total respect. You hardly hear any unpleasant news about harassment of women in this particular place. Except there are few incidents which is also distorted many occasions. And there is not of gangs or mafias or threat. These things are not there. It is a very well society, good society. People are living there. Only some of this terrorism coming from across the border is actually distorting the image of Jammu and Kashmir, and we tend to believe that. So the official language, recently the government of India has announced Urdu, Kashmiri, Dogri, Hindi, all things to be the official languages of Jammu and Kashmir. The language spoken by Jammu and Kashmir people, the Gilgit Baltistan, they speak Gilgiti, and also Hunza and Balti. The people who are living on the hills, you can't call them tribals, but they are called Pahadis. Those who are living on the top of the hills, and they are called Pahadis. And those who are living on the plains, because it's a mountain, so there is a difference. The people living on the hill and living on the plains. So the Pahadis, there's a Pahadi language, Gujri, and Dogri, and Ladakhi, and Kashmiri. These are the language spoken by the Jammu and Kashmir people. This is a Dogri script, and there are some of the examples. How are you? Kyoji. Fine, thank you. Vadiya. So Dogri is similar to the Punjabi. And if you know Hindi, you can manage Punjabi also a little bit. And this is Kashmiri language, although it is very difficult. But the script is sort of a Urdu script, the Kashmiri script, spoken by the Kashmiri people in the Kashmir Valley. And these are the different texts that how the Dogri word and this the Urdu script and as well as the Devanagari script is also given here. I don't want to go in detail. And this is the actual Dogri script, which is similar to look like a Punjabi script. Then another script is called the Sanskrit literature, which is also, as I mentioned, and quite popular, especially the Sharda script. These are the scripts, prominent script from this place, Devanagari Sharda script. Most of the textures are written here, like books like Raja Tarangani. These are all classic ancient textbooks. Raj Tarangani and other books are written in these scripts. And Boti language, which is also very popular in this particular area. And as I discussed this history of Jammu and Kashmir, it is a Dogra dynasty. And these are the Pahadi people. We can see that in how the Pahadis used to live. The woman who is carrying some sort of basket, it is called Kangdi. So during winter, there is a mud pot which they keep inside that in this particular basket, and they put charcoal with fire, and the women wore on their neck so that it keep their body warm. The men used to wear on their neck so that the fire used to keep them warm. This is a natural indigenous heater. And these are the Dogra kings and their rulers pictures, some of the pictures. And peoples with a different identity, the indigenous people, which I have already discussed, like Kashmiris, Royalties, Dogras, Bakarwals, Kargilis, Ladakhis, Baltis, Hunsas, Kalashas, Gilgitis. Each one of them have a unique culture, their unique features, unique food style, unique lifestyles, dress codes, and they have a lot of dialects. They speak a lot of dialects. This I have discussed in the Mughal Gardens. The poets of Kashmiri spoken language. These are the very prominent spoken Kashmiri language. Like Ramadatta Dogri language, he is a very popular Dogri language poet. They are the Shagit Academy Puraskar awardees from the Jammu and Kashmir. These are the just fact. And the lifestyle and languages I have discussed. This is how the Kashmiris looks like. This is the Bakarwal tribe. These Bakarwal tribes are nomads. Even now today you can see them just 2 kilometers away from my home, and even they come to my home for water. These Bakarwals, what they happen during winter, they come from Kashmir. They'll start their trek on month of October, and by November they will reach Jammu region because of the harsh winter there. And when they move, they will also take their cattle. Their cattle and their herds like sheep, goat, buffaloes, horse. You can see a lot of horses. They have these horses, and the entire community they move like a nomads. We call Nadodis, and they come here and they occupy the plain areas here in Jammu region because there is no snow here, and they stay here and they'll rear their animals. And then April or May, they'll take their herds and everything to go Kashmir. So what happens is that there is an interesting thing. This is an organic farming. What happens is that the manure. So the landlords here, feudal landlords, the winter they can't cultivate anything. So they allow their land for the Bakarwals. These Bakarwals will go and make their tent and keep their herds and the cattle. and their wastages like became a manure for this their field. So when they move, this became a fertile. They get the manure for the field. As I said, the agriculture cannot be segregated from the this livestock. So these livestock are very important, and how they are culturally they have coordinated, and they synced with that. And the summer they will go to Kashmir and they do the same thing for in Kashmir. Summer around May, April, May they go there, and that serves a very good manure fertilizer, the manure for organic manure for the apple orchids, other even the rice, basmati rice, wheat, other crops like maize, makki, they call makki, which is called actually makkacholam, makki, many traditional, and rajma with the kidney beans. They don't use any purely organic. So the Bakarwals, there is a lot of interesting story about Bakarwals. Then there is a Gujars. So the Gujars are not a nomadic people. They stay in that particular place, mostly on the plain areas of the hills, which is in the Jammu region, northwest, south of the Pir Panjal range. I stop here. Whatever I have, I missed it out. I will try to cover it in the Q&A session if there is a Q&A session. Once again, I thank you all for this patient listening of sharing the culture and history of Jammu and Kashmir. If I talk about the history of Jammu and Kashmir, I have to cover this, the ancient and medieval and the modern history, and that itself has separate sessions which is required. I will summarize in terms of in the ancient history. As I said, there are different sections of the history, starting with the Hindus, the pre-Veda period, then the Vedas, the Saivism was thriving there. Then thereafter, you had this the Buddhism, the entire region. The Buddhism was very quite popular. Then you had this Mughal and the Sufism came this particular place. Then you in the valley, particularly in the valley. Thereafter, you had this medieval period, the Mughals, then Dogra dynasty, then they struggled. Then you had this British, and during the British, the Dogra rule maintained its autonomy, and they continue to govern. In fact, the British had sold that Kashmir to the Dogras for some for their support in their war against the Anglo-Sikh war, the second Anglo-Sikh war against Maharaja Ranjit Singh, and that's why the Dogra rule continued to rule. And it was even the Dogra rule was not a bad rule, I would say. It is one of the most progressive rule. The land reforms first in the country was done by the Dogras, the Dogra king himself. There are a lot of social reforms. The king had done it. The education, women education, the women's rights, education is the right mandatory thing in the Jammu and Kashmir from king in the rule. These are the major reforms by the Maharajas and the Dogra dynasty. Then the independence, as all of you know, that during the independence time, it is one of the most complex and political and troublesome political history. In the 1947, when there was a talk about accession to the Union of India, the British India sort of engaging with all the princely states, and all the princely states being given an option to accede to India. But Jammu and Kashmir wanted to remain independent, hoping that British would support them. But all of a sudden, when India got independence in 1947, then ensued the partition. And from 1947, August to September, there are a lot of interesting developments happen. The Pakistan, with the new government in place, had sent the tribal warlords to occupy Kashmir, and in order to thwart that and to bring down the Dogra kingdom, and the king was left with no option. Then king had to seek support from government of India, the Union of India, to save their kingdom. Then Union government has mentioned that unless until you sign the instrument of accession, your territory we will not able to provide any support. That's a logical thing. Then the king finally signed this instrument of accession. As part of the accession, the J&K was acceded to the Union of India. in 1947 October. Imagine the constitution was, the Indian constitution still is was in the process, in the process of making. So 1951, we got the constitution. In 1949, there was a demand to the Jawaharlal Nehru, the then president, late president, that Jammu and Kashmir has to be protected, that unique identity has to be protected. So the Maharaja, the then Prime Minister had accorded a special status, which is also temporary provision till the accession is complete. There are a lot of misreadings about this particular clause, but it is very clear. 1949, that instrument of accession. So therefore, it is an integral part of India. With the Article 370 as a temporary provision. Under that Article 370, that Union of India has defense and communication and finance regulation. Then Jammu and Kashmir was allowed to have its own constitution till that Constituent Assembly of Jammu and Kashmir decides to accede to the government of India. That was the thing. But the Constituent Assembly of Jammu and Kashmir was dissolved without any such provisions. Then you have seen the history. There is always a debate that in the common parlance that it was should be handed over to Pakistan, but there is no historical locus standi for Pakistan to claim Jammu and Kashmir, although it is a political. Now coming back to, there are a lot of waters flown under that bridge for so long, with the making the Article 370 as inoperative in 2019 August 5, which is an historical step to fulfill the aspirations of the people of Jammu and Kashmir. It was wholeheartedly expected by the people of Jammu and Kashmir, and it's been 1 year. A lot of developments are happening in this particular place. There's sort of a sense of stability is emerging in the last 1 year, and I hope this in coming years this region is going to be the most developed region in the country. Thank you very much, and I look forward to hear any questions.
Sir, good evening, sir. Professor, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Sir, I am Dr. Rajendran, head of the Department of History, Muthurangam Government Arts College, Vellore, sir. Sir, your presentation is very nice and excellent. Sir, your presentation regarding the Kashmir Valley is very beautiful. The Kashmir is known as the Orient of East. We compared it to the Venice. Your presentation makes us a historical tour to Kashmir Valley. You covered all the aspects of the Kashmir people, the art and architecture, the craft, the language, the food, the dance, all. So I welcome your speech, sir. Thank you for your great lecture, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening. Dr. M. Tirunakar from Muthurangam Government Arts College, sir.
Yes, sir.
As a Jammu and Kashmir, very well idea about on the ancient history. Sir, I am curious about on what is the reason this socio-economic changes in Jammu and Kashmir?
What is the socio-economic changes in terms of?
Particularly, sir, Bagadis, I think tribal peoples will be out to changes in the ancient and now recently, last 5 years, changes in socio-economic changes in the conditions, socio-economic status.
Yeah, in terms of socio-economic changes of this, we count as some of the tribals or the Bakarwals. Now the lot of Bakarwal kids are going to getting educations and access to all the modern amenities. Many universities being opened and a lot of students are joining, and they are joining. That's one of the social development, upliftment for the entire community. And also in terms of economic activities, and they are now getting good markets with their livestock management skills. And they are getting a lot of markets. Now it is also extending to other part of the state as well. Even the dairy products, even the meat, and there is a huge potential to tap their potentials, livestock management potentials, to make it as a sort of a business module or business chain. In the last
Thank you,
5 years, I think they are all much more moving ahead. But there's still some of the generations are a little bit caught with the traditional, what do you say, the way of living, part of living.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for clarity and give an idea about on Jammu and Kashmir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, madam.
Thank you, Trinakursu, sir. Yeah, yes, Sudhakar. I Sudhakar has raised a hand.
Sir, good evening. Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes, Thirumaran, sir, you continue, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Professor Jagan, for wonderfully narrating nearly 2000 years of history of Kashmir, Jammu Kashmir, and present status. My important question is, after this revoke of Article 370, after the revoke of this 370, what is the feeling
Sorry,
of
I
the...
was logged out. Can you just...
Yeah.
I was logged out. Can you just repeat the question? I just joined.
Yes, sure, sir. Actually, you are narrated very well the history of Jammu Kashmir for the past 2000 years to the current situation. Just my question is, after the revoke of Article 370, what is the real feeling of the people of Jammu Kashmir there? Is they feel they're part of the mainland, or still they're feeling that we are not part of this mainland?
I wanted to state whether Article 370 was there or removed, the post or pre-Article 370, the people of Jammu Kashmir, they were very much of the view they are very much part of India. For instance, I can give an example. We fought 4 wars with Pakistan, and none of the wars the Kashmiris supported the Pakistan. That's a testimony for their thing that they are very much part of India.
No.
Right from the beginning, in the instrument of accession, they're very much part of, not only the politically part of India, culturally, as I mentioned, they're very much part of Indian culture. It is Indian culture. So there is no doubt about that. But I'll address you the questions that what is the feeling? What is the feeling of the, what do they feel?
Yeah.
Again, it is not my opinion. I will give you some of the indicators. I will give my opinion later on, but let me present the indicators, the facts. After the Article 370 was revoked on August 5, I was very much here in the Jammu and Kashmir. There was some very small level, some sort of panic, but it was not a very big level. It's very small, some sort of feeling. But the next day, one day, that's it. Then after that, things were normal. There was no big issue here. And there was no big protest, and there was not a single violence happened after that. And another thing is, even now 1 year, there is a lot of people have been very actively engaging in various development activities, policies, and recently the District Development Council elections, you might have seen how all the political parties have participated in the District Development Council elections. In fact, the BJP had even won 3 seats in the Kashmir Valley directly. And there are many independent candidates have won with the support of BJP. And in Jammu region, there are 75 seats the BJP has total in Jammu and Kashmir, they won. It indicates that people have And the voter turnouts also very impressive. It indicates, these are the indicators which shows that the actual pulse of the people, reflections of the people. Of course, there is a sort of the media fanned sort of apprehensions that this will happen like this would happen like this, but the people stood firm and believed, and I think the things are very quite normal and fine. Only the corona has people find. In fact, I wanted to tell this through this forum. The COVID-19, the Jammu and Kashmir state has managed very well, like any other state. I can even tell the number of figures the here, and also the checking of the inbound and outbound travelers, even the train or the airport. It's excellent. I recently traveled out of Jammu to Tamil Nadu, and when I landed in Tamil Nadu, there was no test done. We were also panicked, and there was a crowd everywhere, nobody following the rules. But when we reached in Jammu early morning, 5 o'clock, there were 10 stalls to take the samples and the test, and all been done in 15 minutes. And we got the results. Then we were allowed to go for a home quarantine, and our data has been collected. And even during the quarantine centers were very well maintained quarantine centers. Systematically, they managed very well. And that is the reason that they could able to control the spread. And the people behaved rules, strictly followed the rules. Even now, if I go out to buy vegetables or groceries to the shop, there is a distance. Everybody wears the mask. They are conscious about the wearing mask. But in what I find in Tamil Nadu, I'm sorry to mention, I'm not demeriting or demeaning this thing, but this is a cultural aspect, because we can't expect everything the government should do. What I see in Tamil Nadu, the people wearing mask and driving the bike, but to reach the crowd, some function. Once they reach the function, the crowd, they'll remove the mask. So the purpose of mask is to protect yourself from the crowd. So, and that is another point, the COVID, where successfully they managed it. And the third aspect of the governance part is that there are many universities have come here in the last 6 years. They have IITs, and there is a lot of scope, a lot of industries are coming up here for the development, and the infrastructure development is amazing, phenomenal in the last 5-7 years, where I am myself witnessing here in Jammu and Kashmir in terms of bridges, roads, connectivity, train connectivity. By 2023, you will have a direct train to Srinagar, which is the Kashmir Valley. So all you have to board train from either Katpadi or your nearest station, and you can reach Srinagar in 2-3 days. You don't have to step down from Delhi, or you don't have to step down from Jammu. You can directly reach Srinagar in 2 years.
Any other questions? Any
Yes,
other
sir.
question?
Thank you, Jagan.
Thank you, Thirumaran.
Okay.
Dear participant, feedback form for e-certificate will be posted in the chat box. Kindly fill the form for e-certificate or copy the link. I repeat, feedback form posted in the chat box. Kindly fill the feedback form or copy the link. Now I would like to invite Dr. V. Shivashankar, Assistant Professor of Economics and RUSA Coordinator, Muthuram Government Arts College, for a vote of thanks.
Okay. Good evening. Vote of thanks, formal vote of thanks. I would like to express my sincere thanks to my principal, Dr. Malar, for providing this wonderful webinar and his continuous encouragement. My sincere thank and gratitude, my friend Dr. Jagannathan, Assistant Professor in the Department of National Security Studies, University of Jammu, for accepting my invitation in his busy schedule in the winter semester. So once again, I thank Jagan. I thank to all participants in the webinar. I thank my PhD scholar, Mr. Nirmal Kumar, and Mr. Prem Kumar, PhD research scholar from Sagrat College, for helping technical assistant. Once again, I thank you very much. See you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, sir. Thank you very much, and thank you all for patiently
So
listening.
we
And I would invite.
working on this.